what I'm looking at here is I'm going to start to use my leads. So I've got my leads with me, and I'm going to start to show you how when I'm out, I don't want these to be a really big deal for my dogs, because if they're a big deal, then they can become sort of problematic and something that they learn they don't like, and I do want them to think this is not a problem. Now, I'm going to show you how I would use a puppy line on a dog, maybe with a poor history of recall. Bravey, I know, you're not really a poor history of recall, are you? No, you're not. Brave doesn't like the fact, Bravey, come here, please. She doesn't like the fact there's been some bangs going on here this afternoon. They've been doing gunshots. So for her, it's too much, isn't it? It's too much. Shouldn't do no gunshots. Brave would like protection of pheasants, wouldn't you? Right, okay, so you're going to go. You can go off now. Steady, please. Steady. And for me, it would be call her back, put her line on, but I don't need to do anything about it. So she just gets to wear that line. So that's something she's just going to trail and wear. And I'll talk to you in a minute about how I'm going to use that part way around the walk. And then Toto is going to come back. You can have a few of them. I'm going to scatter feed a few pieces of food. Whilst I'm scatter feeding a few pieces of food, and I'll let him carry on doing his scatter feeding, I'm going to clip him on lead, and I've got him there, and I'm going to pop him on lead for a minute, and we're just going to walk on lead. And I think this is something that a lot of us don't do quite enough of, that when we're out and about on a walk, our dogs can go on lead. Fair does not mean equal necessarily. Blink is still cleaning up back there. If you have a look, she's very good at cleaning up. There's also a quad bike down there actually, and that's worth seeing too. So there's a quad bike down there, a little bit further down the bridle path. I don't know if you can see that one. And again, something that a lot of dogs will go off and chase and get involved in. For me, these are just another distraction, just something that's in the environment, none of their business, nothing they need to worry on. And unless that quad bike comes really up close, something that I'm not going to pay much attention to either. I might reward them if I had a dog that was maybe too interested in them. Now, back to the case at hand. So we've got her on her line. We're going to let her just plod along with her line. And I'm going to show you how I use that in a bit. But he's on lead for a bit. Now, it might be that I put him on lead and I get him to do a couple of good games. So he might do a little bit of magic hand. He might do maybe a little bit of middle and middle on the move. I might put a little bit of value in there. We might play a couple of super fun tricks. You could really do any of the things that you want. Blink's learned that if you hang around dogs when they're playing food games, sometimes they drop them. And you can see that everybody likes to get involved when we're playing games around about, and I would do it on both sides. I think both sides are quite important, and so often we play one-sided, and I think we should play two-sided. Classic also thinks we should play two dog, not just one dog. And as you can see, again, fair does not mean equal, but at the same time, you can see that he's on a lead and he's getting to play the game right now, and actually being on the lead is a good deal. And so many dogs, I think, see being on a lead as a bad deal. They don't see being on the lead as the thing that they want in the environment. And I think it's quite important that we acknowledge when we're playing and we're out and about that you can be on a lead and it's a nice experience. It's not a bad experience. There you go, lad. And then when you're ready, you might re-let them off again. And so, again, being on the lead doesn't mean the end of the walk. I think that's quite important. The other thing here that I think, if you own multi-dogs, this is one of my pet hates with multi-dogs, is when you let them off lead and they all sprint. Now, it's not the fact that they sprint that's the problem. For me, there's an injury risk, but there's also something that says, where's the value? So when I let them all off and they all sprint in the other direction, one of the things I really don't like is the fact that all of the value goes out there. And I'm not trying to create a load of value out there. I want my dogs to see a decent amount of value around here. So I want here to be a good space for my dogs. Not only is sprinting and running at high speed and chasing huge opportunity potential for risk and injury, and let's not eat the poo, Brave, let's not do that, come on. Off we go. And that's a huge risk of injury. And in fact, that is how Brave injured herself. She injured herself sprinting. She didn't even hit another dog or anything. She didn't hit anything. It's just a sprint injury. And at the same time, God, the risk to hitting each other is massive. But the other thing I'd really notice, and I would say is a really big thing, is the fact that your dogs are saying all the value is out there. And we don't want to put all that value out there. So